It's on. Very well. Vincent, the last thing you remember was Beastman's mace racing towards your crotch. The pain was excruciating. It was probably the worst pain that you've ever felt, even worse than having your eye poked out by the knight in black. You were lifted up from the battlements and flew down to the ground, hitting it hard. Something broke inside your body, you're pretty sure of it. You've heard the crunch. Then there was the wave of pain, and then there was blackness. Perhaps you finally being called to the gates of More. To be granted your reward for faithful service. That said, the smell of cherry wood, sake, and strange spices tells you that probably this is not the case. And as you open your eyes, you actually see that you are sitting on a big pillow, you guess, in a very small room, dimly lit by a single oil lamp, scented oil lamp, I might add. The room is small, but it's pretty comfortable. There's a low table right in front of you. Like I said, in the middle of the table is the lamp, and on both sides of the lamp are two cups. And you can see that the cups are filled with fluid. The walls, actually, you don't see the details, even though the room is small. But you think that you can see strange clothes hanging on the walls, like banners, but not exactly. You can see the details, and as you ponder this fact, you suddenly realize that you're not alone, because on both sides of the table, on your left and on your right, sits a man. Well, a person, but quickly you discovered that these people are in fact two men. The man on your right is a familiar figure. He's a nobleman, dressed in a long robe of eastern cut and with a sword tied to his waist. After a second you realize that the sword is familiar to you. It is Masamune, your blade. Your beloved, well-known blade. The man has his hair tied high. Worn in a small top knot, so to speak. And you see that his face, excuse me, is stern as he looks at you. Out of character, I don't remember how Daimyo was, what was his name. If you do, then cool. If not, then let's just stick with Daimyo.
Okay.
I think it will be better this way. The man to your left is very peculiar, to say the least. He is also dressed in an Eastern fashion, but his clothes are rich, much richer than Daimyo's, comprised of blue silks, threaded with golden braid. Strange symbols of dragons, ravens, and eyes cover his clothes. The man also has a small wave-shaped dagger, hanging from his belt. But it is his face and his hands that are strangest to you. His face is covered in a mask, a bird-like mask from gold, with eyes which are not exactly the same. They are made from some very expensive, very beautiful precious stones. One is green, the other is red. But then you see that when the light falls on the mask, the colors change. The same thing happens to the man's robe. Even though it's blue with gold, the colors slightly change as the man makes slight movements and the light falls on his frame. One time it's light blue, the other time it's much darker indigo blue. The mask completely covers his face. Like I said, it's in the shape of a bird of prey, or maybe a raven. But the man's hands are the most disturbing of all, because they are an amalgam of human and bird talons. Human hands covered in tattoos, but also covered in light scale, and with talons instead of fingers, but with like, what's the word? What that you know, you can bend your fingers, like. What I mean is that each finger has like two joints. Oh, yeah, joints.
Knuckles.
Yeah. I mean, these are not bird's claws because he can actually, articulate them. His fingers have joints. And you look at them. He holds them in front of him on his lap in a gesture of, of mild condescension. The tips of his talons are touching each other, as if the man is contemplating something. "You," says the man to your right. "You must choose. But choose wisely," says the man to your left. "For you can only choose once. We've already spoke before. I know that you're a man of honor, of principles, and of ambition," says the man to your left. "You know what happened to me and my family. You were there when that fiend from your lands came to us, murdered my men, murdered me, and turned my daughter into a creature of darkness. He was just one bloodsucker. There are many more in this world. I can help you destroy them all. You only offer damnation. Yaksha," says the man to your right. "Creature of the void." Insults. How typical. "Vincent, I've been watching you for some time. You are very promising. Very promising. I would like to have you in my service." "You already serve. You serve the right path," says the man to your right. "You serve me." "Really? He does? Look, Vincent, this man thinks of you as his servant. How rude." They both look at you for a second, waiting for you to, react. The tones, the man on the left tone also slightly changes each time he speaks. Like, it's sibilant, but there are differences to each of the words that he's speaking. The man to your right, because I was talking about the man to the left, the birdman. The man to your right is just as you remember him, but you can see that he's exasperated. His left hand actually fell to the hilt of Masamune, and he grips the sword tightly.
So he has Masamune.
Yes.
And I imagine Vincent has, like, nothing on him at the moment.
You are dressed in a simple kimono robe. Very practical. You don't feel any pain, I might add, and you have both of your eyes. And your balls.
Well, that's good. I guess Vincent's going to ask. I guess he recognizes the man on the right.
It's the daimyo.
Yep, he recognizes him. Doesn't recognize the guy on the left.
No. But there is something off about him, and it's not just the claws. You see that there are too many shadows that this man casts on the wall. One of the shadows is huge and serpentine. The other is feathered, like an anthropomorphic raven. Yet another is a creature with no head, just two tentacles extending from the top of its torso, hanging in the air. The shadows, each time the lamp flickers, the man casts a different shadow.
Vincent asks, "How did I get here?"
Oh, sorry. You were gravely wounded in the battle with the beastkin. But that's not all, Vincent. You see, you are sick. Yes, as I was saying, says the man, looking at the daimyo through the lenses of his strange mask. You are very sick, and this is no natural ailment. Indeed it is not. My dear brother decided to have you for yourself. I cannot allow that. You are mine. You've always been mine. Always been mine. Do not listen to that creature. It is one of the Oni. I am so much more, little ghost. You have no idea. Do not ask which creature screams in the night. Do not question who waits for you in the shadow. It is my cry that wakes you in the night, and my body that crouches in the shadow. I am Zinch, and you are the puppet that dances to my tune. Oh, says the man to the right. So you see, Vincent, there is really no choice at all here. The Lord of Decay has infected you with an ailment unlike any other in existence. Even now your soul is gestating, ready to be reborn in his garden of plague, as one of his mindless servants. You have exactly little time until this happens, and the first changes will be upon you very soon. Same with your friends, well, except the halfling, but he is in a much less nicer place than he probably imagined himself to be after passing through the threshold. This will be your fate, unless I'll help you. I can help you as well. Do not listen to this thing. You don't have to change. You don't have to damn your soul. The truth is subjective. Especially hearing something like that from the mouth of a ghost who can't even leave this place after hundreds of years of being dead is quite ironic. Do you want me to show you what will happen to you if you refuse?
Yes.
Very well.
I imagine Vincent's kind of like in a dream state where um, he's kind of subconsciously replying.
You are actually fully capable of speech. You have all your senses.
Hmm.
You're not drugged or anything. This
Okay.
is, of course, weird. Like,
Yeah.
more than weird. The man slowly pulled his fingers away from each other. Uh, he reached under his rich robe and brought out a small silver mirror. Very plain looking, but polished to a mirror sheen, so to speak. Take a look. He passes you the mirror.
Okay, Vincent grabs it cautiously and
For a split second,
get.
you see your face just as it was many months ago in Known, unblemished, handsome, without any scars. But then the mirror ripples and it changes slightly. And it shows you things. It shows you such horrible things. Garden of eternal plague, with a massive man's standing inside it, and the man's owner, eternally laughing, wetly. While brewing every single plague, disease, ailment, sickness that ever were and ever will be created. The trees there are not these are no trees. These are the souls of the damned turned into hellwood, bearing the fruit of decay and madness. You see, as the mirror focuses on one of them, you see a strange, obscene fruit, like an overripe plum, with a very thin, translucent skin. And inside this fruit you can see yourself in a fetal position, being completely submerged in some kind of horrible fluid, changing your skin, festering, your eyes merging together, a single horn slowly growing from your forehead, and the father of plague calling you to finally emerge outside and join his endless cavalcade of death and decay. 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. The man on the left, lightning fast, snatches the mirror from your grip with his hand and places it inside his voluminous robes. Did you like what I showed you, Vincent?
What? What was that?
It's your fate. It has been ordained. At least my dear brother thinks so. But I'm not one to lose valuable assets so easily. Pledge your service to me, and I'll save your soul. Continue being honorable. Do not listen to this thing. I can help you as well. I can make this sickness go away, at least for the time. You can't do anything about the rot. But I can. I can lock it within the deepest, darkest corner of your soul, put walls around it, so high and so thick that nothing will ever breach them. I can suppress it until you find a cure. It is curable, no matter what this thing says. Perhaps it is curable, but do you really have time and luxury to risk searching the world for a cure? I don't think you do. Your time is almost up. just as your friends, but only you're interesting to me. They are The rest of them are such simple creatures. Only you have the great potential to actually achieve something. You always had, even when you were just a servant. And when you've defeated my servant in Marienburg, I just knew that I had to have you. Remember your oaths, says the man, half pulling Massimune from the scabbard. Says the man on the left, exhaling a multicolored mist that makes the air itself ripple as in a heat wave. Insolent spirit! They're waiting for you.
I'm trying to think of if there were oaths given to I guess there are oaths given to more. Were there oaths given to the daimyo?
You don't really remember that, honestly.
Yeah. I know the direction I want to go, and I'm just trying to rationalize what Vincent would, how he would formulate a decision.
The man on the right looks at you, with intensity, while the man on the left, even though you don't see his face, you can see his face, you're pretty sure that he looks at you with this calm, slightly ironic expression. Like he's not exactly taking you seriously, but he's also rather friendly. Like an older sibling looking at his younger brother. If you choose me, I can make you great. I can make you the greatest undead hunter in the entire world. You will be the bane of them all. Just drink from my cup. And he slowly points one of his long fingers, which you can see now are completely covered in bejeweled rings. Each slightly different than the other, but all of them pretty similar. Remember your oaths, Vincent! You serve the god of death and dreams. This thing, it will turn your soul into its puppet. And after your death, you'll be sent to hell. That it calls its home, to be tortured for all eternity. I know full well what this creature exactly is. Something that can actually help him save his soul, even if it will belong to me in the long run. Then again, from what I've heard, the god of death and dreams does not exactly run a leisure resort for his deceased servants, right?
Vincent kind of looks at the man on the left in confusion. Like,
you always serve someone, Vincent. Doesn't matter if it's your master in the real world. Doesn't matter if it is one god or another. There is always someone above you. Someone stronger than you, more powerful than you. That's just how the universe works. You can serve this creature there, a shade, a fragment of a soul extinguished long ago. Or you can serve me, a god to other gods. Or you can, of course, refuse us both and wait for the first stigmata to show up on your body. And then, well, my dear brother will be very happy to have you in his service. Mindless though it will be.
I feel like the sword has been a curse. Vincent kind of says, looking down at the half-drawn sword.
This
I
Salt.
feel it consuming me.
Because it is, says the man on the left. This salt has been forged from my hatred against the creatures that took everything from me. Creatures who should not walk.
And am
Who
I
are,
to become your hatred by maintaining the sword?
and if you serve this thing, what will you become? What?
More than a sword? More than your hatred?
Corruption incarnate. Your soul will be doomed. If you serve me, I can make you a prince of the Neverborn, clad in immortality, immortal, unending, eternal. If you serve this thing, you just die to some undead thing's claws or teeth. No one will remember you, no one will mourn you. No one will even probably knew that you existed in the long run. Anyway, I'm getting tired of this. Choose or don't choose. Even though if you don't choose, you also choose.
Vincent kind of reaches, like puts his hand on the table and kind of slides it towards like, both cups, kind of looking for a reaction.
You see that both of them look at you closely, but none of them make even a single move. It's like they're statues. It's like they are waiting for this moment to finally run its course, to finally happen.
I want to lean my hand, start veering my hand towards the right, while I'm looking at the creature on the left.
The funny thing about the creature on the left, it doesn't even look exactly at you. I mean, you know, the mask is positioned in a way that it doesn't look exactly at you. It kinda looks between you and Daimyo, but for some reason you are sure that it sees your every move. While Daimyo, of course, you know, you can see that his brow is covered in sweat. His mouth is, you know, closed shut. His lips are pale, as he has clamped them so shut that there's no blood inside them.
Then I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to slide it to the left.
Very well.
At the same time, I'm looking at the Dynamo and his sword half drawn.
Actually, you haven't spotted it, but the sword, he already like put it completely back into the scabbard. You don't know where that happened, when that happened. You didn't saw that.
Okay.
He still has his hand on the grip, his left hand, but he's not pulling it out.
Alright. Vincent's going to grab the cup on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And draw it close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And look down inside.
There's a silvery liquid inside. It smells of potential and ambition. It smells of change.
He will raise it up. Look over the glass to the figure on the left.
It's actually more a ceramic cup, porcelain actually.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yep. Looks over it at the figure on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And then drinks it.
You've drunk the liquid. So you've The man on the right, he never had a chance to stop to finish what he was saying, because he's no longer there. You're alone with a strange blue-robed man sitting there, the empty cup in your hands. You don't recall the taste of the liquid. It didn't burn you or anything. You don't recall if it was warm or cold. You don't even feel any sort of aftertaste. Very well, Vincent. I always knew that would happen, of course, because I know everything. So, you're mine now. But you knew that all along. You don't have to worry about that sickness inside you. I'll take care of it. I will put 9 walls of deception around it. My brother won't claim you, as you are already mine. Just, let's make this our little secret. Don't tell your friends. Especially not the priest of Sigmar. Oh, wait, that hasn't happened yet. Silly me. Anyway, I'll be in touch. You are alone in the small room with the empty cup in your hand. And with, well, bright future ahead of you.
Vincent's gonna kind of firmly grasp the cup, not wanting to leave this place, knowing where he came from just
you wake
moments
up
before.
Just as the beastman raises its club to finish you off. You wake up, you can move. Your body is pain, your groin is pain. You can only see its silhouette in the gloom with a single eye. The thing lied to you, the thing that whose name you don't remember anymore, even though it did spoke its name to you, you think so. The thing lied to you. And then a single arrow pierces the beastman's throat. And more of them follow soon. But that we shall leave for the main game.
Alright.
So, did you like it?
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, things will change now.
Yeah.
I will
changing gears a bit.
Yeah. Yes. The change is the new word that we shall be using. Like, I mean, it's the new fancy word that we shall be using a lot from now.
Yeah.
I'll call you with the details.
Okay.
For now, I'm logging off. Thanks for the game, Jason.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, Andy said that he'll be 15 minutes late, so maybe I'll even be able to, grab something to eat very quickly.
Okay. Should I just show up 15 minutes late as well?
Yeah.
All right. So about a half hour then.
From now, yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay. See
Sounds
you later,
good.
Jay.
All right. See ya.
Bye.